Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Mixing Cultures. My sister and I discuss the difficulties we have encountered growing up both in an Asian and Western culture. Please follow us on Instagram at Mixing Cultures Podcast for any more updates and news. We hope you enjoy the podcast. So, welcome everybody to the introduction of our podcast.
So the introduction is just us giving you guys a little bit more information about who we are and just some clarification about what we want to do with this podcast.
So, my name's Sophia. I just turned 27 this year, and that's my sister that's talking. Her name's Sally, and she turned 24 this year.
Yeah, so basically I'm getting close to my midlife crisis.
I already passed my quarter life crisis.
Yeah, because, we only plan to live till we're 50.
Yeah, and I had a very big quarter life crisis. We will probably get to that in a later episode, but I had a huge meltdown, which now seems kind of silly, but then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
It's always in hindsight, it seems okay.
That's true. But me and my sister Sally our nationalities are both Korean. However, we didn't really live in Korea for that long. So just our nationalities are Korean.
The culture.
We are very heavily invested in the Korean culture, I would say.
Yeah. It's just we've had experiences with many different types of cultures up to this point in our lives.
That's very true, because we're going to get that in a further episode, but we've lived in quite a few countries. Well, I've lived in quite a few countries. And you've lived in quite a few countries as well, just probably not as much as I did.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, so basically my main reason of living in so many different countries was because of my education. And I will probably do a whole episode just on how much we've traveled solely for education purposes, but
if we got air miles, we would be very rich.
Yeah, if we had air miles, we could live on air miles, basically. But I have just finished postgraduate and just working full time.
And I'm still unemployed and in school. I think that will be relatable to lots of people who are going through Zoom University.
Yeah, and probably you'll be not employed for a while longer until COVID gets a bit settled down.
That's true, yes. Yeah. COVID is everyone's pain in the ass.
Well, the only reason I have a job right now is because I work in essential service. If I wasn't, I'd probably be not working at the moment. Exactly.
Yeah.
But where I currently live right now, the pandemic is really not, people can't really feel it because it's not as bad as the rest of the world right now.
Oh yeah, where I am, it's bad. Yeah. We're on lockdown number 2, and it's been extended for another 4 weeks.
Yeah. So another hint, as you can tell by what we're talking about, we're not actually living in the same country. We're completely in the opposite sides of the world. We're on different continents completely.
And different hemispheres, if you think about it.
Different hemispheres, different time zones. Us filming this it's crazy.
We had to learn a lot of technology within a very short time. I didn't even know how to record audio on my computer before this.
Today was the first day I learned what Google Drive was. And I am so embarrassed.
Oh my god, yes. I had to teach her what Google Drive was. I'm like, don't you know? She was like, wait, but do I have to save the document after I write stuff in? I'm like, no, it automatically saves. That's the point of a drive.
Okay, people, anyways. Sometimes I'm still more comfortable with pen and paper, okay? Let's not judge the old lady here. Oh my gosh. Okay, but Sally, on a scale of 1 to 10, how culturally confused were you growing up?
In the beginning, quadruple million quadrillion. Now I would feel it's more, it's a lot, it was very high in the beginning of my life. But I would say now it'd be like a 7 or 8 on a scale of 10. Yeah.
To be fair, we're still confused because we still feel as though we don't completely belong in a country. But I'm sure most people who've studied abroad or was born in like a second generation, they would still relate to even just the slightest at what we were talking about, I feel.
Yeah, I think as long as you've at least experienced two different cultures, you'd know what that's like.
Even let's say if you grew up in even in America, let's say, and you were a second generation like Korean American or Chinese American, even though you are second generation, you still have sometimes that sense of not being able to completely belong. Because
Mm-hmm.
even during the pandemic right now, even your second, third, fourth, fifth, 100th generation
There's still
Korean
racial
American,
attacks
there's
towards
still racial
Asian
attacks
populations.
just purely based on the color of your skin.
And that does happen even in places where there is a high percentage of Asian populations. It's not like where the Asians are the minority. They do make up pretty much a big portion of the population, and they still get attacked just because of their skin color, no matter what generation they are.
It just shows that how something like a pandemic or illness or something like that can really trigger people to really turn a blind eye and really become racially insensitive toward other people. Because if
Yeah.
COVID-19 had never happened, of course the racial slurs and things like that keep happening, but it's more heightened.
It wouldn't have been
because
heightened up to this point.
Yes. And it's more heightened because of the fact that people are saying that the virus came from China.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I have zero clue where it's from. I have not researched anything, so I have no say whatsoever whether I know where it's truly from or not. But and if it's whether intentionally done or not. We don't know. Oh, well, at least I
That
don't
is
know.
what we should leave to the conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
They're good at their job. They can dig through the hidden FBI files, the hidden scientific reports, and they can let us know what they think. But that's
Yeah.
not the point of this podcast.
Yeah, I can't do that. I just learned how to do Google Drive today, so I'm
That's true,
clearly
that's true.
very far. But we just wanted to start this podcast just to talk about our lives and how we experience life. Maybe some people are able to relate to us. Maybe some people can't relate to us, but that's okay because
That's
we're
like an
just
eye-opener. You can learn through our experiences and how we've had to deal with cultural diversity and cultural differences when other people didn't have to go through that.
Yeah, so basically it even if you don't relate, just think of it as a story. Someone's just telling a story. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. It's
We
just
just
a
want you
story.
to listen and understand.
Like if you don't like it, if you don't agree with it, that's completely fine. We're not here to judge on people's opinions, things like that. We're just sharing our story just to for people to relate, but just for people to listen and enjoy. We aren't always going to be talking about our culture. Sometimes I want to talk about noodles because I love noodles.
There's food culture too. That's still culture.
So people stay tuned.
Follow our Instagram at Mixing Cultures Podcast. Sophia did make the account and she will primarily run it, but I will try my best to also take care of that account.
Yes. Please
I am more socially active, yes.
Yes, Sally is much more socially active. I really try, but I'm gonna try my best because, well, to be fair, I'm not very tech savvy. Okay, Sally, tell me, in your opinion, how many languages can you fluently speak?
2.
2. And what are they?
Korean and English.
And which one would you say is your mother tongue?
For me, I would have to say English.
Which is true, which I agree with as well. I primarily think my mother tongue is English, but I do have to say when I'm in an argument or when I need to like argue back with someone, somehow Korean is the first thing that pops into my head and I just want to rap in Korean.
Well, I think the only time I actually actively use Korean is if I have to cuss people out on the street and I don't want them to understand what I'm saying. That's very useful when there isn't that cultural diversity. I'm just spitting real life examples. If I'm crossing the road on a green light and they come to turn right, I'm a cuss at them in Korean. Excuse me, you weren't supposed to cross. You didn't have your blinkers on. Chill and let me cross the road.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we've been rambling like on and on and on, but
this was just our vibe. This is just how we talk and we communicate.
Yeah.
So I hope that you guys do take this in as very real and it's not scripted in any way. But if you guys ever want us to discuss a certain topic, as long as it's not too controversial or too political, we'd be free to talk about it. You just have to let us know on Instagram so we can see what your ideas are.
Although we want to be very real and very honest, we might not be 100% able to dig down, like saying exactly which cities we lived in, which towns we lived in, things like that. But we're trying to be as general and we're going to be as honest and as specific as we think we can go. But also, to be fair, Sally's not married, but I'm married. I've been married for like, how many years?
3 years.
3 years.
How do you not know?
I don't know, okay? It's another episode story. How I got married will some people, it will blow your mind. Seriously, okay?
It blew my mind.
It blew her mind, and she's my sister, okay? No, but so I have other family that I need to, of course, keep in the shadows. I don't want them to become a spotlight when it's something that they don't want. So for me, I have multiple people to take care of to make sure it's okay with them. My partner's been completely supportive about this, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe I can drag him on to say hi on one of the episodes.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, but for our next episode, we're probably going to just start from the very beginning of how we even started to travel, like move to Canada. So that's probably going to be our first main topic.
It will be a very Sophia intense episode because my memory does not go that far.
To be fair, Sally was only like 4 when we moved, so Sally has a really vague idea. So do I. I just have points and points from one place to another. My memory's not that super clear either.
Yeah, like I don't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, let alone remember something that happened when I was 4.
No, sometimes.
But that has a scientific background. My brain wasn't fully developed, so I couldn't form memories as well.
Can you see who's the brains of this family? Seriously.
Try to guess who's majoring in the science field.
Yeah. Try to guess who's not majoring in a science field. There we are.
You can see by the knowledge of Google Drive.
Okay, non-science people use Google Drive as well. It's just I never did. Okay, apparently Google Drive is going to be on every single episode. Google Drive, I don't know. You can sponsor us. Thank you.
Probably Google Can, not Google Drive.
Okay.
Knowledge.
Google, please. If you hear this, please. Thank you. Yeah. You can teach me how to use Google Drive.
Stop. If Google hears this, they're going to want to cut us out of Google's life.
Probably. They're going to be like, this girl has been living for 27 years and does not know what Google Drive is. Oh my god.
Do you even have the Google Drive app on your phone?
There's an app?
Yeah. Never mind. I think that just proves my point.
So stick around. We're hoping we can get at least 1 episode out per week.
Yeah, because Sophia is majority the busiest person, so it depends on when she is free. But we plan to do 1 episode a week, and they'd be around 20-25 minutes long.
Okay, we will try for a long episode if we can. We've never done one, so this is going to be an interesting experiment for us as well. But anyways, make sure to follow us on our Instagram as well. We're going to be trying to post more updates on when our podcast comes out and things like that. And did you have anything else to add before we sign off for today?
Yes, follow us on Instagram at Mixing Cultures Podcast.
I just said that literally.
Well, we were talking about social media. I had to put it in.
Yeah.
So for the next episodes, we'll make sure to have kind of a plan layout of what we're talking about so we don't go too off topic.
Unless you like this rambling and let us know. We love rambling.
Yeah. Let us know. Do you want rambling or do you want more of a like kind of question and answer type of flow?
Yeah, but let us know on our Instagram. We'll probably post a picture soon and you guys can comment down there to see if there are any questions. If we do get enough questions, we can probably do a Q&A once and answer a lot of the questions that you guys gave us. So thanks for listening to our rambling podcast for the day, our introduction podcast, and we hope you come back to hear for the next one.
The next one will be very interesting because it will actually be proper content. So, look out for that.
Perfect. Then we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.